Hello everyone, today we are looking at one of these. Now I appreciate this is real dusty, but I had a problem in that the cord's cut, but I solved the problem because I got another one of these. Now this is the handset rather. I don't know why I kept this one. For some reason it got cut or it got damaged in storage or transit or whatever, but this does look like one that's been opened actually. I'm not too sure what happened to this one. Obviously I kept it for spares, and I was going to be talking about that, but seeing as this is a little dusty and this channel is now 3 years old, yay, I thought I'd pull out something a little bit more, how should I put this, exclusive. So this one goes out, move these bad boys over, and I want to talk about this guy. You're going to need a widescreen for this one, like so. If you guys don't know what this is, inherently actually this is the same phone as what I just showed you, a Bosch OF something or other. I'm not even sure myself, I've got to look at my notes, but if you were so inclined to actually want a leather case or a silicone case for your then old school Bosch phone, this is what you got. This is a custom unit, and I say it's custom because if you look at this unit here, this has a great big battery. This is the battery, and I can quickly take that off to show you guys. You're going to need a widescreen, so I'm going to zoom out a little. And in fact, I don't even know how to take. Oh yeah, there's a screw just down here, which I think you got to undo, and basically this whole bit comes undone. This one's filthy though. It's not in bad condition. It's just for some reason the box this was in storage wasn't covered, and obviously the dust has fallen on it. So I'm going to need to give that a good clean. But, and these things weigh quite a bit, but if you're a little bit richer at the time, you buy yourself one of these bad boys. Inherently it's the same phone, just got a few extra bits. Now, the antenna is here, and I will take this off to show you the length of this. Quite long, quite bendy. Put that to one side. This is where it kind of slots in. Now, this thing comes undone as well. Let me show you guys. This was what I call the portable car kit, because this had obviously a shoulder strap because you needed it. It is the same phone, Bosch OF something or other, and they did these ones in reds as well. Not this one, the other one, the non-leather case one. But this one has a few extra parts to it. So I'll move the headset out. Just so you guys see what's actually inside this box, and you got a little cable here for the antenna. The reason why this is so long was actually this was designed to slot onto your car window. Believe it or not, that's why this spaghetti junction of cable that's been wound up. This is about 2 meters of cable, believe it or not. I undid this and checked it out. You got an XLR 3-pin there for, I don't know if you guys can see that, for your power, which we're going to do in a second. And you got this funky looking miniature, God knows what it's called, circular connector. I'm not too sure what the connector is called on this. But this is for your battery. I appreciate this is sizable, and actually the previous owner of this opened it up because it's got super glue all around it. So he obviously had the cells replaced. Not sure if I can, yeah, I can actually open that. Have a look inside. I've never actually looked inside here, believe it or not, because I always thought this was super glued shut. It does look like these cells were replaced at one time or another. That's what you got. These are what looks like D cells, and there is a dozen of them in there. So a D cell would be what, 1.2 volts. I know obviously non-rechargeable ones are 1.5 volts, but rechargeables normally are 1.2 volt. So you do the math. So basically, that was your battery, which is sizable. I'll put that to one side. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Now, this was obviously analog. This phone operated on the German C-netz network, which was a 450 megahertz network they had at the time in Germany. This is, many years ago, so late 80s, early 90s, probably more late 80s than early 90s actually, when Germany was still kind of divided and they did their funky shit and whatnot. So let me try and take this out. This is quite heavy, so it's gonna need some brute force. And I don't want to damage it, obviously, but I do want to show you guys what is actually inside this thing, because it's not the standard phone. If I can get the sucker out, I might need brute force to get this sucker out. Here we go. Right, so leather case, put that sucker to one side. Now this is a custom build, like I said. You got, if you guys don't know this phone, it's got a couple of funky connectors at the bottom. In fact, I can use the other unit to show you guys those connectors. Basically what they've done is they've taken the phone part of this one and built a funky frame around it. But these connectors, these two connectors, is what you see down here. Basically this is kind of the same thing. So your antenna connector would be here. You got some sort of other connector. I'm not sure if I can get that out. No, I think you need a screwdriver to prise it open. Not too sure what the string is for. And obviously from a previous life, don't need that. So basically, move this guy out of the way again. You add, and obviously this voltage regulator was for the power. I'm guessing this took in 16 volts and this thing regulated it down to 12 volts. Obviously used this as a bit of a heat sink. Quite a few funky cables there. That was obviously the red and black for your power. The other little cables were for your handset, which obviously this connects to. And this was obviously for the battery, because going by the cables underneath here, that looks to be the power. Now, you also had a card reader for the CTEL cards. I did show you guys this card in the other video I did a couple of weeks ago for the PRX 451, I think it was. But this is a CTEL card. This is a German one. Will that focus? Hopefully it will. No? Yes, it will. So this is one of the original ones. The beauty about these ones were obviously you could go to a phone box and use these as a phone card as well, and then obviously you get billed on your cell phone bill. Really nifty feature that back in the day. This card actually slots in here like so. Or might go the other way. We'll soon find out when I power this sucker up. So let me quickly put this back together, and then we'll power this guy up. Hopefully this will come to life. I've not actually powered it up, but I have no reason to believe it wouldn't. So let me try and see which way around this goes. This goes in like so, doesn't it? Yeah. There we go. It's easier to put it back in than it is to take it out. Real sucker, this. So move these spare ones out the way. I've always got a spare just in case. Probably won't connect the battery, but slide it in here anyway for completeness. And why does that not want to go in? Something's jamming it. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Make sure this guy's sealed. There we go. Right. I'm not sure I should connect the battery, but I tell you what, we'll leave it disconnected for now. I will put that back up here, and I will connect the antenna just in case the transmitter unit or the transmitter part of this phone doesn't like an open antenna. I've had that before on older phones. You don't put the antenna and it starts to do funny things. So I got, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, I use a nice little, well, I say little, this is big. This transformer, it's got a car socket to emulate the car power, and this is good for 6 amps. I generally don't have phones that, well, I have a couple phones that take more power than 6 amps, but most phones don't. So that should normally be enough juice to power this bad boy up. So XLR on the other end, this guy goes in here, like so. And it hasn't gone pop yet, which is a good sign. I was getting a little worried there, but so hopefully this should, take the card back out, this should come on. It says Karte eingeben, which I think is insert card in German. I am inserting the card, nothing's happening. What's going on? That's not good at all. Which way does the card go? Okay. There we go. Oh, it shows you the phone number actually. When you first put it in, it shows you 4612519. It shows you, that's not the number on this card though, is it? Oh yes, it is. It's read the card. It's read the number off that card. It's obviously not given the prefix, the dialing code. That's really interesting. I didn't know it did that. So, telephone number. That's what it displays. It says Reduced-Leistung, which I believe is reduced power. So I don't unfortunately have a manual for this. So, nope. Not too sure what this thing's doing now. Search name. What else can we do? Phone number. I don't know what that means. Something device. Something card. Program. This might be the programming menu actually. Factor. Register. I don't know what that is. Oh, look at this. Hang on, I just spotted something. Go back. Oh, that will be volume. How do we go back? I've suddenly increased the volume in this without even wanting to. So, all right. Interestingly, the top volume is lower the volume, and the bottom one is higher volume. I would think it's the other way around. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, call me crazy, but I would have the buttons switched. But anyway, so what is that? I'm not too sure what any of this stuff means. Book card. Okay, well, factor, some register. I'm not too sure what any of this means. If there's some German speakers out there, which I know there is, and you guys know what the heck all this means, give me a shout, drop me a comment. If you got a manual for one of these, even better. I know a fellow collector of mine from way back in the day did have a manual for one of these, but he's no longer in the collecting game. He sold up his collection many years ago. So how do you select that name? Oh, so this is asking for letters. So if we do D, Funke? No. Quartz number. Oh, this would be speed dial. So this would be the actual number that was stored in location number 3. How do I know that? Because I think it just showed me location number 3. I'm going to take the tone back down. So how do I go back to the I want to go back to the phone menu. Go back to the phone menu, or go back to the factor. I don't know what any of this means. Anybody knows what factor means? But anyway, it seems to work. Got obviously the usual 1989 or 1987 refinements. Got a couple of LEDs up there. I'm guessing that one would be, that looks like an antenna, so when that's in use, that green one would come on. I'm guessing when it rings, this one would come on, and then if you can't place a call, or if the call's obviously not going to go through, it shows up with red, or I don't know, I'm not too sure. I would expect that red to come on if there's no service, but for some reason it's not come on. Like I said, I don't have a manual for this, so if anybody does have a manual, either in PDF or even a photocopy of a manual, I would really appreciate if they can send me a copy, drop me a comment, we'll swap emails. Pager external alarm. So this would be for your Leistung. That would be the power. So how do you go into that? Reduced, no, normal. Oh, so you got normal. So how do you select that? How the hell do you select that? Okay. Nope. Okay. How does one select? How do you select that? You can scroll through, but you can't actually select it, and I'm not too sure how to do that. Okay, let's go back. What else we got? Pager, search name. That's what we want. So if we go A, let's see what it finds. Backhouse, Baker. So that's stored in location number 1. So this would be the number stored in location number 1. I kind of get where this is going. This is a real finicky phone to use, though. I would prefer something a little bit easier. And buttons aren't labeled, and you got to kind of know the key combination to get to the phone book. It's not straightforward at all. Maybe there is a shortcut to get to the phone book, but like I said, I don't know. How you would get to it without scrolling through these buttons. But anyway, that's all I can say really. There we go. It's an OF7-95, made in Germany in 1980 something. So yeah, I thought I would dig this one out. This is one of several of my prized possessions actually. These are one of the rarer phones that I own, together with a whole bunch of briefcase phones, one of which I dug out a while back, maroon sort of red color. There's a couple of other ones in some sort of briefcases and some Samsonite sort of briefcases and some leather briefcases. But not many of these phones were available in sort of a what I call this sort of leather case, I suppose. I think this was obviously an expensive optional extra that you could carry. You could carry it around your shoulder, because obviously carrying one of these, and the other one does actually have a shoulder strap. This one does, believe it or not. Let me move this guy out the way. This one does actually have a shoulder strap, but so I don't know what the advantage would be of having this. My guess is the antenna, having the antenna, the possibility to have the antenna on the outside of the car, that is probably what this would probably have been sold as a transportable / car kit type thing. Obviously where you got the XLR for the external power as well, because these ones you get basically just this and that's it, you don't get much else. So there's not really much else I can say about this. There isn't much info on any of these. These are so old that actually you know, and the couple of websites that do have photos of these, unfortunately, they're all in German, and my German isn't great. Just about sort of have a mild conversation with someone, but actually reading German, I mean, I might as well be reading Hebrew or Jewish or Indian or some foreign language like that I don't understand. So, but anyway, give me the thumbs up if you like the phone or the video. And if you haven't subscribed, obviously hit the subscribe button, help me out. You got any questions about this one, I would graciously try and answer them. Like I said, there isn't much info on these, and this is one that I bought many years ago that I kind of never really played with. I kind of put it to my precious phone pile, and it kind of sat there and gathered dust, really. But if you do have a manual, I'd love to hear from you guys. Even if it is German, I can get that translated. It's not a problem. I'm guessing there will be someone out there in Germany that's got a manual for this. A photocopy's good, PDF's good as well. If you guys got any info on this, drop me a comment, send me an email, usual email address as well. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.